Hey everybody, I'm Brendan72Mo. This is the Albany Buccaneer Custom, and I'm about to find out if it'll off-road. This is continuing the tie from last week with 7 votes for 4 vehicles, including the one we're going to see right after this one. You can vote for the vehicles that you want to see by clicking on the link in the description down below. I'll be recording new vehicles probably... By the time you've seen this, I'll probably have already started recording, but you can still go vote as many times as you want for whatever vehicle in the game you want. We have some interesting stuff coming up over the next few weeks. I know from looking at the votes. But right now we want to talk about the Buccaneer Custom. This is the 3rd lowrider that I ever owned. This was originally stolen from the Vagos as one of their customized Buccaneers that spawned over in their territory, and I had it sitting in my garage for a long time. And then when lowriders came out back in 2015, during my 12-hour birthday live stream that year on October 30th, I upgraded this into a lowrider, but it was the 3rd one that I did. The first one was a Voodoo, the second one was a Moonbeam, and then this one. I spent a lot of money that day. Bought 2 Halloween cars and something else. Oh yeah, hot knife. Yeah, a lot of stuff was bought and customized during that live stream. It was my birthday present to myself. But the Buccaneer Custom is a fairly capable muscle car. I mean, obviously it's not in its element here in off-roading because it sits really low, so it causes it to bounce or bump around on the uneven terrain a little bit. But it's a fairly powerful muscle car. I mean, it's not going to win races or anything like that. But it has good acceleration. It has decent traction. It's an easy car to drive. So this isn't too much of a problem. I mean, there's a ton of wheel spin, and usually that turns around and causes issues. But with the Buccaneer Custom, it's really staying nice and steady despite the wheel spin. I am doing my best to mitigate it and keep that wheel spin from happening, but even when it does happen, it's just not an issue whatsoever. I mean, you can see we're making pretty damn good time up the mountain. I mean, I don't think we're going to get a 3-minute run here, but I do think that we're going to definitely not see 4. I don't know. I can't remember, honestly. I edited the video several days ago, and now I'm recording the voiceover, so who knows? But as we continue the climb up the mountain, there's just been no issue here whatsoever. Just every once in a while we lose a little bit of speed due to the wheel spin, and that's about it. Not only did I send the hikers spinning, I think they were impaled upon a fence. Ow. Gonna make one last push up here so that we can get to our final challenge. Coming up on that 3-minute mark. So we're not going to be too far over it. So a decent time, considering this is a low rider. It's not meant to be performance. It's not meant to be a racer. It's just a car that looks badass. Though it has a bit of too much of an overhang in front of those front wheels. So gonna back up and get a little bit of speed to try to counter that. Let's see if that works. Big push, lots of speed. There we go, up over that part that was giving us problems. Up that really smooth rock face. And we are up in 3 minutes, 35 seconds with one hiker definitely down. And yes, indeed, it will off-road. I didn't ask the question, but hey, you know what? It's on the screen, so you can figure it out for yourself. Of course, that means taking this beautiful car back down the hill. If you're wondering why I have the zebra-striped interior on this car, well, it's kind of a tribute to one of the other customized gang cars that you can get, the Peyote. When you steal it as an NPC modified gang car, it comes with the zebra-striped interior. Of course, everybody knows that I really wish Rockstar would give us the Peyote as a lowrider. I doubt it will ever happen, but I can dream. So until that day, I just have the zebra stripes as an inspiration, or I guess I should say a tribute to the Peyote here on my Buccaneer. Buccaneer does bounce around a lot here on the downhill. Matter of fact, it's going to get into a couple little problems. And this is where the struggle of a lowrider comes in. It just doesn't really have the suspension travel to deal with some of these bigger bumps. And the angle that we approach them being just completely opposite, obviously, of when we were going up the hill. So many of these turn into jumps instead of things to climb. And, well, that's a problem. Have to apologize for my frequent pauses in this narration. My allergies are absolutely going nuts today. So it makes it a bit hard to do a voiceover. But I press on because I'm a professional YouTuber, damn it. There we go. Couldn't quite make the turn. And then, of course, since it sits so low to the ground, it also couldn't get up and over that bump. Big rough landing there and started to spin on me a little bit, but I was able to get it back under control. Coming to another big jump. And again, the back end started coming around me in midair, which resulted in it coming the rest of the way around once we were back down on the ground. So definitely a bit of a challenge on the downhill bit here. Nothing unmanageable. A little bit ugly on that one too. This car just does not want to jump flat. It just doesn't. Kicking the tail out a little bit to get around that corner back there. Coming up to our last little straight bit here, or straight-ish bit. I call this a straight. This is about the straightest piece of road that we see in Willett Off-Road. Our final dirt trail, the one that is very difficult to see. And, again, bouncing around an awful lot. Almost came around, but I was able to hold it in kind of a power slide until the car was able to settle back down. And we're back down on the asphalt. Very good traction on the asphalt with this car. You can see just not too much of an issue so far. Pretty sure it stays that way. And it sounds like there's an ambulance inbound. Probably for that dead guy right there. We're down in 2 minutes, 56 seconds. Let's take it back to the top of Mount Chilliad to see what type of damage we can sustain. Joined by my good buddy Non-Credit Rocket. And we're in a convertible, so I don't know how safe this is. Not a whole lot of crush protection here, but you know, it's GTA, not real life, so I don't think we have to worry about snapping our necks. And so far, all the body panels and body parts are still intact, which is kind of surprising. Looks like we might have a busted windshield. Yeah, we got a busted windshield, and I believe the headlights are busted out at this point. It's kind of hard to tell with the car moving that much. Also, another ass-end heavy car because it does not want to stay going forward. It's been a big challenge to do that. Oh, on the roof. Got to try to flip over here. And we're back on the wheels. Going to back up and try to do a bit of a J-turn. Kind of failed. But, oh well. We're going the right direction now, but that won't last long. We'll wind up with the back end coming around again in no time right there at all. And so, yeah, backwards again. Now the J-turn. Forwards again. And the back end's already trying to come around again. Now we begin a long slide on the roof. Not yet. Oh, wait. No, this is it. Yeah. Just slide on the roof for a little while because the car didn't want to flip over. You know, there's more than one way to get down a mountain, and this is the worst one. Well, the worst one would try to jump down the mountain when the car dies. But there we go. Back on the wheels. Back through this little tunnel. That's the tunnel I used to sneak in right in the woods. Oh, got it a little high centered, but it's a lowrider. Pop those wheels up. Get some traction. And as soon as those wheels give me some grip, did a bit of a burnout. There we go. Wouldn't have been able to do that without the hydraulics. So, you know, all that, what, $250,000 spent on hydraulics. There we go. It just came in handy. And since it does sit so low to the ground and has very little travel in the suspension, it's just getting thrown all around in this bumpy bit here. But all the body panels are still intact. Kind of impressive. Doesn't look like we have any lights left, though. Yeah, I don't see any lights. Or wait, nope, we have a reverse light. So let's take a look at the damage on the Buccaneer Custom. Most of the lights are gone, most of the windows are gone. The hood, the doors, and the trunk will not close. And the front wheels are ever so slightly bent. And that brings us to our next vehicle. The Vapid Speedo. This is kind of an odd vehicle in the game because you can steal it off the streets. I don't believe you can buy it. But it can be stolen, it can be stored. It cannot be upgraded in any way. The only thing you can do for this vehicle inside of Los Angeles Customs is put a tracker on it if you didn't already have one from putting it in your garage. Buy insurance. And you can fit it with an ignition and a remote bomb. And that's it. Nothing else. You can't tint the windows. You can't do anything to the plate. You can't put bulletproof tires on it. You can't change the wheels. And sadly, for me having to drive it up the side of the mountain, you cannot put a single performance upgrade on this van. So this thing's stopped. You know, thankfully it has insurance because that also means there's no armor. So the risk in the damage descent coming up in a few minutes is really, really high. Excuse me while I take a drink of soda here. Much better. So, like with a lot of the slower vehicles that we've run, especially over the past few weeks, the Speedo has, it seems like, enough power when the transmission wants to stay in the right gear. But it seems like the transmission, just there, it should not have shifted up there. I was heavy on the throttle, and yet it wanted to go into a higher gear already. And the same thing's going to happen right here. And like we've seen again with a lot of vehicles recently, it gets right there to the edge. But because of that gear change, just does not have the ability to keep going forward. So I'm going to back way up here. Just letting Commander get clear with his passenger rocket. Ooh, let off the brakes there a little bit, and the van just started going backwards on me. Just tried to find a place where I could get some grip. And then I'll go real gentle on the throttle to hopefully not spin the wheels. Just enough to get it moving. There we go. And then I'll get really heavy on the throttle once I know we're moving without wheel spin. There we go, full throttle. A lot of wheel spin though. But it's finding grip. It's also trying to find the right gear to stay in. Pushing really hard now and just barely make it up there. Alright, that's the closest we've come to failing without failing in that section, I think. And this van is just struggling. Again, in these videos, and when you're driving up this, it kind of is deceptive because the camera angle adjusts because of the angle that the vehicle's at. But if you want to see how steep that these trails really are, go walk up Mount Chilliad sometime. And then put your camera, do it in first person especially, and you'll see just how much of a vertical change there is from foot to foot. Even these sections that look really flat, you're still actually going uphill for the most part. There are some that are truly flat, but there's not much on this that is a truly flat piece. You're usually going up. And for something underpowered like this, that makes for a struggle. I mean, we're already well past that 3-minute mark, coming up to, the 4-minute mark now. And, well, this thing's not even going to be up in 4 minutes. I do remember that much from editing this video together. But you have to admire it, despite the fact that it doesn't get the best traction and that it doesn't have a lot of power, and that the transmission is just a hateful slush box. The Speedo is slowly but surely moving forward. We had that one area where it really struggled, and that was it. Other than that, I'm able to keep the gas on pretty much full throttle most of the way and just keep pushing forward. And that's pretty damn impressive considering this thing's so heavy as well. But due to that heft, it's also kind of nice over the bumps. It doesn't get too unsettled, at least during the climb up. Climb down probably be a little bit of a different story, but I thought we were going to fail here because it just will not downshift. But there we go. At the last second, they decided to go into a lower gear and give me that last bit of power that we needed. Now for the last big challenge. How's it going to do? Get it lined up. Find some traction, and look at that. I was blown away driving this thing up here. That right there amazed me. But it's up in 502. Will it off-road? Yes, it will. And you know what? Normally for something this slow, I'd say, yeah, but. And I'm going to still say, yeah, but. But damn it, this thing should have never made it. I was totally surprised that it did. So we're going to give it a yes. And Commander's honking at me. He's getting sick of waiting. So off we go. Now, we have the reverse problem. And you already see what it is. Since nothing can be upgraded on this vehicle, that means it has stock brakes. So we have gravity acting upon quite a bit of mass here. That's how physics works. And, well, yeah, that's going to make this really difficult to keep under control. I'm just going as slow as I can without just stopping. But we're going to get into a little bit of trouble real quick here. Got airborne. And, oh, barely still on the top of the mountain. Commander thankfully was able to get hard on the brakes and not knock us off. Just trying to do a multi-point turn here to get this thing back onto the path safely. Yeah, that was kind of a clincher moment there. Pucker factor 10. So just taking it slow because this thing doesn't have a lot of grip. It doesn't corner very well. And the brakes are not going to save me if I need them. If I get myself in a situation where there's too much speed, I'm screwed. So I've just got to keep the speed really low. First uneven section there, and instead of the right side dipping down, it just chose to jump it for some reason. Coming up to our first small jump. About normal for a lot of vehicles, though it did get a little out of control. Probably a little too much speed through there, but thankfully there's a little bit of a hill I could run up onto to slow it back down. Big jump, went off crooked, and caused it to roll. Ouch. So we've already lost some windows there, and I think maybe a fender as well. And if you notice, I wasn't accelerating for a long time. I was trying. My finger was on the right trigger, but after that crash, the van just didn't want to go for a minute. It just kind of sat there, not sure what to do. So here we go. This is a big test because you get a lot of speed on that. Oh, shit. This is the closest to falling off the path I think I've ever been, but I was able to save it. We definitely lost a right front fender there, which will magically reappear for the damage descent. I'll explain why in a minute. Rocket just bailed. I think that was actually an accidental bail. If I remember when we were in Discord chat, it was kind of like a WTF moment. Because this controller was just like sitting next to him. So he probably just bumped the Y button or something by accident. But he did not intentionally bail out. But I believe Commander stopped and picked him up, came to his rescue. So we're just pushing down, trying to get back onto asphalt here. And we're down. Hit those brakes hard so we don't roll over or go sliding off into the woods again. And man, this thing's just slow. Oh my gosh, this van is painfully incredibly slow. But it is back down in 3 minutes, 24 seconds, and back to the top of Mount Chilliad we go for what was actually the second damage descent. I wasn't aware of it, but when I first recorded the damage descent with this van, the hard drive that I record to, or the SSD that I record to, was nearly full. And it stopped recording midway down the damage descent. So we had to take it down the street to Beakers, get it repaired, and get it back to the top of Mount Chilliad, which both times, used a cargo bob. Because there was no way I was going to spend 5 minutes driving back to the top of the mountain. Just wasn't on my agenda for the day. But that fender that we lost and magically got back's gone now, so it all evened out. This thing is already taking a beating, though. I don't think it has a single body panel that can break off left on it. Nope, take it back. The hood's still there. The hood is still there. For now. I'm sure it'll come up. I love that I'm just being chased down by multiple body parts. There's a fender. There's a door and a bumper up here. We raced past them, though. We'll show them who's boss. Oh, big hit. And that did some serious engine damage and ripped the hood off. That is a loud, loud rattle. I mean, it went from no engine damage to just severe. Right? I mean, I won't say severe because it's not smoky. But definitely significant. That's usually the engine rattles start off a little more subtle than that. But man, it's just taking a beating. That was a beautiful flip. Well done, Speedo. Well done. A little bit stuck there. See if we can't get over this rest of this bumpy bit without any issues. Probably not. Nope, hit a rock. Started the flip, decided to do a barrel roll instead. Who knows why? It's a van. They have their own personalities. And we're up into the wood pile. I love that. That's so awesome when it hits like that. But we are down in 2 minutes, 13 seconds of fire damage. Well, all the body panels that can come off are gone. All the lights and windows are gone. Bent wheels, significant body damage, and significant engine damage. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Get subscribed if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below. I'm Brendan72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.